Welcome to the Wellnest Mamas podcast. We are committed to leading a sustainable lifestyle and making community connections. In a world where stress and chaos seem to be the norm, finding balance and fostering a sense of true well-being is essential.
Whether you are just beginning your holistic wellness journey or are already deeply dedicated to the practice, this podcast is for you. Join the Wellnest Mamas as we uncover the secrets to holistic wellness and discover the power of building a healthy community that supports and uplifts one another.
Sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on a transformative journey to leading a sustainably healthy lifestyle. We're glad you're here.
All right. Hi, everybody. We're back with the Wellnest Mamas podcast. I'm Steph.
And I'm Caitlin. And today we're here with Dr. Claretha.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for
We are
coming.
so glad to finally have you on the podcast. Steph and I were just saying how you were one of the first people that we thought of whenever we started this podcast. We're like, oh my gosh, she would be fantastic. Wonder if she would come.
Of course. It took me a minute, but I'm here, finally.
So tell me, I know you are a doctor of Chinese medicine, and are you a specialist in acupuncture?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about your journey, how you got there?
Oh yeah, it's a fun one. So yeah, I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. It was a long, windy road to get there, as some things are. My undergrad, I have a Bachelor of Arts, but my master's is in science. So I kind of went a little bit into the art realm and loved that. But once I figured out that I wanted to get serious about supporting people in their health journey, I spent like 6 months researching different careers in sort of like holistic nursing or holistic massage or Ayurvedic medicine. And there was just something about Chinese medicine that really resonated with me. My dad he was a doctor in the Navy for over 30 years, and my mom was an occupational therapist. So sort of health and wellness, I kind of grew up in a house with a lot of that around me, but my dad was very much like hierarchical and authority and like Western medicine. And my mom was a little bit more hippie. She was like, all right, peppermint for like tea for the headaches, and like, let's go outside and ground. And so it was very much the yin and the yang of kind of like looking at how to support the body in just health and healing. So I thought Chinese medicine was a really good fit for that, because we have acupuncture to address like the physical aspects of the body, and cupping to support like muscle recovery and easing tension, and our herbal pharmacopoeia to have tinctures and things to take internally. But one thing I love about Chinese medicine is that it saw emotion as a cause of disease, which I thought was really important, because sometimes people have these big things that happen in their life, or they're just very stressed out, or they're really sad, and over time it shifts the body out of its health alignment. So we have tools, and there are acupuncture points and all that stuff to support that too. So once I kind of knew that about the medicine, I was like, okay, I'm quitting. I was working 3 jobs at the time. I'm going back to school, and haven't looked back. I just keep adding on to that in ways to support my patients and my clients.
Amazing. Sign me up.
Yes. So tell me what kind of tools you use in your practice.
So acupuncture is like number one, excuse me, because most people know what that is. So there are acupuncture points literally all over the body, and they do different things. They're on different channels. Some things are more digestive support, some things are more hormonal support, some things are just for like tight muscles and things like that. So using acupuncture is like the main thing. And then depending on what's going on with people, I like to layer in other things, because everybody's different. And that's one thing that I love about the medicine too, is like no one person is going to get the same exact treatment, because we're all we're all
bio-individual care.
Yeah, and we're multidimensional. So another thing I'll add in sometimes is cupping, which is, I think got really popular with like the Olympics a few years ago, because all the athletes had the little circles on their bodies.
Attacked by an octopus.
Yeah. And so that's really good for increasing blood flow, relaxing stickiness in the fascia, which is kind of like a saran wrap around all the muscles, and pulling out toxins out of the body. And sometimes it's good too, because everybody in China like gets cupping, whether you're just, you know, a kid going to school, because it's really good for helping to recover from coughs and colds where the lungs are getting kind of impacted with that. So cupping's great for a lot of things. So not only cold and flu, but also like muscle tension and tightness, whether it's in the shoulders, the back, the glutes, you know, all the things.
Wow.
Yeah. And then herbal medicine is another one that I like to have people take if there's more of like an internal imbalance going on. So whether it's gut stuff or hormonal dysregulation, like either painful periods or things like that, or just like issues with sleeping sometimes, I give people herbal formulas for that. So those are kind of the three main things that I see, that I, you know, share with most of my patients.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
I saw something on your Instagram, maybe it was a few days ago, about crystal healing, and you have a 101 on that. Is that seems really cool.
Yeah.
Do you incorporate crystals?
I do with my Reiki treatments.
Okay.
So I am a certified like crystal healer. So I like to again layer in different modalities depending on what people need. So when somebody's on my table receiving Reiki, which is just like a gentle Japanese healing modality that works with like the energy centers or the chakras in the body, I do like to use crystals to help like tweak frequencies with that. So I'll put the crystals on the body or around the body. And yeah, I have like a crystals 101 class, because some people are like, well, how do I use them? Or do I need to clean them? And which ones are good for this? So it's just like a basic, I don't know, maybe a 30-minute video of me with like a PDF being like, okay, here's some things that you can do to use them for yourself and help them, use them to support you.
That'd be a cool resource. I have people ask me all the time, and I'm like, you could Google it, you know, but it'd be great to point them to like somebody who actually knows.
Google has 12 different answers.
Right?
Yeah. I was just like, this is just the basics. So like, these are the 5 that everybody should have.
Right.
And like, yeah.
That's cool.
So going back to the acupuncture, because you kind of said that's kind of your foundation, I remember my first acupuncture treatment. I was in high school and I was having painful periods, but I started going to acupuncturists back then, and in migraines. I was terrified.
Sure.
So I would love to hear kind of what it looks like for you with new patients or someone that has never experienced acupuncture, and kind of like what your philosophy is in building out kind of a treatment plan for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, great question. So my initial visits are 90 minutes. And I know most like Western doctors don't have 90-minute appointments, but I do, because I think it's really important to have that time and space for somebody to come in and to fully tell me, what's going on. My intake form is like 9 pages, just because I'm like, I want to know the things, like physically, mentally, emotionally, like how are you doing? So a first visit, like somebody comes in, they sit down, we chat for like 20 to 30 minutes, because I want to get the full picture of what's going on. And then I'll look at their tongue. I'll feel their pulses on both sides, because those things give me information about what's happening internally, where there might be a weakness, how their digestion's doing, if they're having raging responses to like allergies, you know, if it's seasonal allergies, like that type of thing. I get information from the pulse that kind of, and the tongue, that fill in some of the other things that we've talked about just in our discussion. And then you also get the treatment. So for people who are very afraid of needles, because I get that question a lot, it's not like a hypodermic needle where where you've gotten your blood taken, or where you've gotten some sort of shot. So about 40 of my needles that I use can fit into one hypodermic needle. So they're that small, and they're very flexible. It's kind of like an animal hair, like a dog hair or like a cat whisker or something. So they're very small. And so after we do all that, I'll have my patient lie on the table, either front or back, depending on kind of where we're working. And I'll make sure the table warmer's on, so they're nice and relaxed. There'll be, music playing and like essential oils diffusing. And then for the most part, I'll just kind of be touching their body, finding the points, and tapping the needles in. And then they get to rest with those needles for 20 to 30 minutes. And during that time, that's when the body is sort of readjusting, recalibrating. And what I think is important for me, and what I think I do differently than a lot of other acupuncturists, is to give the nervous system to just fully let go and reset. Because anytime you have any pain or inflammation or imbalance in the body, when you're stressed out and the nervous system is like, "Wah," it makes it worse. And, if you don't live off the grid, even if you do live off the grid, like there's not a lot of downtime. Like a lot of us just hold stress in our body certain ways, which make our symptoms worse. So what I like to do with, in that time is to create an environment so the body can fully soften so that the body's innate intelligence of healing can happen. And so with the acupuncture and the cupping and like the music, because sometimes I use binaural beats and like other things, I'm really helping the mind ramp down to give the space for the body to do what it needs to do.
That's amazing.
Love it.
Yeah.
I truly believe the body can heal itself.
With help.
Yeah,
Sometimes it needs a nudge.
We know what we're doing, and that's really cool that
Absolutely.
you're really promoting that process.
Yeah, I do think it's really important, and sometimes, and then I'll see how people feel afterwards. There's this term that we use in our industry called the AcuBuzz. So usually when somebody gets off the table, they're like, oh, they feel like they just napped for like 2 hours because the nervous system has been reset and they feel really relaxed and almost not in a way that they felt recently. So usually, especially after that first treatment, they're kind of like, okay, all right, we just turned down the dial. And then, so depending on what's going on with them, we'll make a plan to be like, okay, come in once a week for like 3 weeks and then we'll reassess. Or if they're having like, 9 out of 10 pain, it might be, okay, come in twice a week for 2 or 3 weeks and we'll see how you feel and readjust the plan, or maybe add in some herbs, or sometimes I give people homework of things to do outside of the treatment room. So everybody's a little different how that plan gets evolved.
Cool.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is your philosophy? Like, I know you have all these different modalities, but do you have a plan, a guide, like your internal philosophy for your treatments?
My treatments. Mind, body, heart. I like to pull in all of the things, depending on where people are, because I meet them where they're at, which is why Path is in my business name, Jade Path, because I like to meet people where they're at. Sometimes people are just like, I can only like talk about, the physical things, but I really like to have people integrate and align all aspects of their body. So, not only like their mindset, and as we talk and as I get to know a patient, I'm like, oh, okay, there's some other things that I can kind of drop in here to support them. But really connecting people back to their heart, because a lot of times we get so disconnected from that in our busy day and like with what's on like, social media or on the news or everything. And we're constantly in this state of maybe fear or worry. And I feel like I really want to help people become sovereign inside of themselves so that they know themselves in a way where they're like, okay, I can handle whatever comes my way. So, sometimes it's a little bit, we have sometimes deep conversations right in the treatment room, depending on what people are experiencing or what, where their mindset is. So really helping people reconnect their heart, really ground onto themselves so that they feel resilient and healthy just in their life.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mind, body, heart.
Yeah, that's perfect. It really feels like you're addressing the human as a whole entity.
Yeah, I feel like acupuncture is kind of like the physical way, because like, of course, when our body's hurt or something, that's kind of like the entryway. But then I like to, get in a little deeper and be like, okay, so like, how are you really?
Yeah.
How are you really?
So do you have anything that you're preparing for the community? Do you want to share about any exciting things coming up?
So I am teaching a Reiki Level 1 class at Be Well Yoga on April 13th. So that's in about a month or so. Again, Reiki is like an easy Japanese healing modality that you can do on yourself or your plants or your pets. It's just really supportive to help the body relax. It's good for pain management. It's good for stress management. It's just something nice to have in your toolkit. If you can't, always get to like a doctor, or if you're feeling kind of under the weather, or your kid's a little cranky, or your dog's a little sluggish or something. So it's something that you have that you can just use to support the health and well-being of not only yourself, but everybody in your house. So, so teaching that class.
It's just one day, right?
It's just one day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from 12 to 5.
Okay, so it's a big day.
It's a long day.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun one. And it's going to be really relaxing.
And you said it's Reiki level 1.
It's Reiki level 1. So
Okay.
it's, there's like a Reiki level 1 attunement, and it's all about self-healing.
Very cool.
Everybody needs a little more of that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share about your new spot to check you out? Where can we find you? Make an appointment.
I'm going to be in Rogers.
Okay.
I'm in Rogers, and so people can either find me on my website at jadepathacupuncture.com, or I do hang out a lot on Instagram, and that's at Jade Path Medicine.
Okay.
So,
We'll link it.
Okay.
We're happy. She's going to be just a few blocks down from us.
Yeah. And I will be
Happy you're
recommending a
moving
lot
into
of
the
people to
neighborhood.
come to
Yes,
this spot because
yes.
holistic and like non-toxic things
Absolutely.
are something that I also like to educate my patients
Do have a
about.
question for you before we let you go, now that I've got you. Are you interested in doing the auricular acupuncture for Lyme disease?
Oh, the SAT.
How do you?
The Solomon.
The Solomon,
Yeah,
yes.
I had that done actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you mentioned that.
Yes.
In April, I'm actually going to DC to get the certification. So
Oh my
that
gosh,
is something that
yay.
I will be offering. Yeah. And it's not only for Lyme disease, it's for allergies too.
Allergies.
Other types of allergies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's it,
It's because
yes.
it's the alpha-gal, not
Yeah.
Lyme disease. It's alpha-gal.
alpha-gal,
That
yes.
is, sorry. So,
Allergy.
I knew what you were talking
Yeah,
about. Yes.
yeah.
It's an ear protocol to help support the body's allergic reaction to things like allergies is important, but like also like if was it the deer tick, the alpha-gal syndrome. Yeah.
So that'll be really cool. I know Steph has experience with that procedure, and it's something that is very, very curious to me. And I have a lot of people come in asking, or just expressing, "Oh yeah, I've got alpha-gal," you know. So it'd be
And
cool
there's
to
only
have someone send them
one.
right down the road.
Yeah,
you
there's
know.
only one in Fayetteville locally. I went to Mountain Home, so I drove 3 hours away for my treatment. So
Okay.
yeah, you'll be busy with that.
Okay.
I would imagine.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Fortunately or
I have a
unfortunately,
resource
but-
to go
you
to.
could send them back here for a tick kit.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, Claretha, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us. We'd love to have you on
Yeah.
again if you ever want to.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
We love
This
the
was great.
information you've shared, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.